Over the past couple of days, a group of people initially led by a subreddit, Wall Street Bets, successfully screwed a hedge fund over massively to the tune of potentially billions of dollars. And it was looking like that was going to continue. But we are talking about a movement to take on the most powerful entrenched economic interests in the country, or I guess the world and history, I suppose. So they're not gonna go down without a fight, and they certainly aren't gonna fight in a non-dirty fashion. So this morning I saw that Robinhood, TD Ameritrade have restricted trading of GameStop and AMC stock, among others. And it's not just them, by the way. Apparently Charles Schwab did it. I don't see it reported here, but I couldn't trade Nokia on Fidelity yesterday. So I guess it's going a little bit broader than that. So they've cracked down on this. And as a result of that, the stock price of GameStop was plummeting. At least when I was checking, I can't say what it's at exactly right now. Well, actually, I guess I can. I guess I can publish it right here. But let's bring up this chart and you'll see that it did lead to the stock price going down. It looks like it's recovered a little bit because I'm reading right now that it's at 243, but it was up above 350, 400. So we got a lot more. But Ben, so far, what do you think about the fact that these Robinhood, TD Ameritrade have decided, no, you don't get to buy this stock anymore because we don't like the implications of it?
It just goes to show us that these institutions had no intention in dealing with us in good faith, right? Because as soon as we use the system against them to beat them at their own game, they pull the plug on it. So that's okay. We're gonna just find new ways of screwing Wall Street over and over and over again, the way they've screwed Main Street over and over and over again.
Exactly. And look, I asked on Twitter, how is this possibly illegal? A lot of people are saying it's not. I'm not an expert on the law or stocks or anything, so I don't know, but I don't see how it's legal. But anyway, there are gonna be investigations. But first, we're all processing this. And so when I'm processing this sort of thing, first of all, I wanna know what Ben thinks. Second of all, the country wants to know what Ja Rule thinks. So Ja Rule tweeted, yo, this is an effing crime what Robinhood app is doing. Do not sell, hold the line, WTF. So anyway, I'm referencing a Dave Chappelle sketch there with Ja Rule, but he apparently is concerned about what's going on with Robinhood. And it really is amazing because Robinhood is just one of the groups that's done this. It's not just them, but they sort of build themselves as, we're gonna let regular people engage in this. They called themselves Robinhood. You have an opportunity to be kind of Robin Hoodish, and instead they decide to protect the hedge funds. And so yesterday on the show, we had Dan Evans on. He's our informal financial correspondent. So he tweeted, how are you gonna call the app Robinhood and then protect the billion-dollar hedge funds from the free market? Just rename it Bootlicker.
Oh, yes.
Which is definitely true.
Yes.
Like,
that's perfect. Because
it's so frustrating.
Because here's the thing. If investigations for what? What should be illegal? Hedge fund, capital venture capitalists being able to short stocks and ruin. I mean, this is really the same mechanism that actually ruined the economy, the housing market, 2007, 2008, 2009, right? The concept of shorting stocks and shorting entire industries and flipping that the misery of a company or the misery of an industry for profit. I'm sorry, no one should be able to profit off the misery of an entire industry. So if there's gonna be any investigations, investigate that.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not gonna relitigate all of the negative effects of them doing this, but they are significant. And so maybe it's not a bad thing to have a little bit of a shock to those hedge funds to stop them from doing it, or from doing it in such a willy-nilly fashion, and causing all of the human and economic suffering that results from that. But as I'm like going over the argument that these groups are making, it's just like seeing TD Ameritrade said it placed restrictions on certain types of trading activity on the companies, quote, in the interest of mitigating risk for our companies and clients. Okay, but you stopped people from trading this, so the stock price is plummeting. That's a risk to your clients. So yes, you wanted to protect some clients, but not other clients. And it's pretty clear which ones. Robinhood, to give you an idea of what they're doing, I am reading that more than half of Robinhood investors own GameStop stock, probably pretty recently, but they own it. And that's just GME, not the other ones as well. So half of their user base might lose a ton of money, but they still think it's in their own personal best interest. Whoever the board of Robinhood is, they think it is more important that some hedge fund benefits than the majority of our entire user base. And I can't say what behind the scenes was happening in terms of communication or possible payoffs. And I'm not even saying direct payoffs, checks being cashed. But I don't think that the idea that the Robinhood board might have ownership shares in some of these hedge funds is a crazy thing to speculate.
Oh yeah.
And so there's gonna need to be some massive investigations into this, because there's no way that them shutting down trading on their platform to protect their own financial interests isn't some kind of violation of something.
Right. They are willing to, but that shows you, let's be sure, like there's also the very likelihood that these venture capitalists have investments in Robinhood. And so they would be doing the favor of their shareholders by screwing over the consumer, right? Because in this case, the investors think that they're investors, but you're actually the consumer of this app, this Robinhood app. And so the real investors in Robinhood are the people who own stocks in it. And so if they have a connection there, just pure speculation, but if there's a connection there, then that's probably how they could get away with it. I think people just need to realize that, when you are actually the investor versus the consumer, and all of the people who use Robinhood to make this move, your money is at risk, but Robinhood doesn't see you as an investor, they see you as a product.
Yeah, and by the way, we haven't made any sort of financial advice in this, but just in case, it's always good to remind people, I said I wasn't an expert, but I'm not a financial advisor, obviously.
Nor am I.
So exactly, so bear that in mind. I've already pretty much talked about my own personal involvement in all of this back and forth. It's not much, I'll tell you that.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.